Geetha Gurumurthy. Thanks for being with us. We're starting this out with breaking news. Many of the world's biggest apps and online games, including Snapchat, Duolingo and Roblox, have gone down. An issue affecting Amazon's cloud computing service, Amazon Web Services, which many websites and apps use. Well, dozens of firms are now reporting issues, including Fortnite, Ring, Zoom and some banks, including Halifax, Lloyds and the Bank of Scotland. Amazon say that engineers are working to try and mitigate the issue. Let's get more with our senior technology reporter, Chris Vallance, who joins us live from Glasgow. Chris, just explain to us what we know that's happened here so far.
Well, what we're seeing is a major outage affecting dozens of big apps and online services. If you look at the outage tracking website, Down Detector, you can just see app after app is affected. We go from Snapchat, we can see reports of problems with Zoom, Signal, Fortnite, Slack, a whole host of some of the biggest apps. What seems to be behind this, and this is what some of the affected organizations are saying, is a problem with Amazon Web Services. Now, that's not a company that many people will have heard of, but its technology underpins just a huge proportion of the web services, the web apps that we use every day. Essentially, companies use Amazon Web Services to provide computing power, to store their data, to process the information that they have on Amazon's computers, enabling them to operate their business. So when Amazon Web Services goes wrong, all the companies that depend on Amazon Web Services have problems.
It shows how interconnected the whole system is and how interconnected we all are and how reliant we are, of course. What might have caused the problems for Amazon itself?
Well, the short answer is we don't know. What we have from Amazon at the moment is a very technical message posted to their status page, which is effectively a sort of a techie kind of note about how their service is performing. It doesn't really tell us in detail what the cause is. I think when you look at these big outages, quite often it's the result of an update, some improvement that's gone wrong. I mean, many people have an experience of sort of updating or changing something on their own computer, and it doesn't work out. Things don't work as well as they did before. In a way, some of these big outages can be attributed to things like that. It'll be some technical change maybe that they've rolled out, and it hasn't gone as planned. That's quite often the story with these outages, but here we don't really know. We're awaiting more information.
Can it be something more sinister than an error?
Well, I mean, you would never say never with something like that. Obviously, cyber attacks are in everybody's mind. I don't think we've seen any evidence to support that at the moment. So, don't assume a conspiracy when I can't use the actual phrase, but when something going wrong will do as an explanation, I would say.
And presumably, I mean, Amazon must have huge systems in place as backup systems. So for the fact that it's failed, what does that tell us?
Well, I think, as you mentioned, there is this big question about our dependence on a few critical services, how much the net relies on a few key infrastructure services, how much multiple websites will use, say, a particular app, a particular system, and when there's a problem with that or an attack on that system, everybody is affected. That degree of concentration, people will argue about whether that's a good or a bad thing. Big companies like Amazon obviously have the resources to invest a lot in computer security, in their infrastructure, and so they can bring a lot of money to the table to make sure things don't go wrong. But on the other hand, when they do go wrong, the situation is dire for everybody. So that's a difficult thing to sort of answer, which is the better world. The world we live in at the moment does seem to be one where we rely a lot on these few critical services.
And there's some copy that's come into us from Reuters, and I don't know whether you can translate this for us I don't know if you've seen it as yet, but AWS, Amazon Web Services, are saying they've identified a potential root cause for error rates on the DynaModB APIs in the US East 1 region. They go on to say the issue appears to be related to the DNS resolution of this. I don't know whether you can explain what that might be. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, that's all right. I mean, an API, which it mentions, is typically a sort of a system for exchanging data with a service. And I think, what was the other thing they mentioned? The DNS is typically, it's like the Internet Address Book, if you like. It's how, you sort of, it's one of the key bits of routing sort of information across the internet. So, I mean, that sounds like what they're saying is there was a problem accessing this particular part of our service. It doesn't really tell you why that happened, and it is highly technical. So I'm going to sort of say an awful bit of wriggle words that I'm not a software engineer. So
that is absolutely fair enough.
That's the best I can do on that.
Nor am I, sadly. But just to give you one more line that AWS have said, they've said global services or features that rely on US East 1 endpoints, such as IAM updates or DynamoDB global tables, may also be experiencing issues. Again, I don't know if that casts any light at all.
Well, I mean, that perhaps says something about the principal areas that are affected. But again, the internet is so interconnected that even if it is US based, that will have knock-on consequences elsewhere.
And Chris, just to let everyone know as well that the website has got the practical implications of this, because Down Detector have listed many of the apps that are struggling. Now it's banks as well, and we're also hearing that several have faced issues. Lloyds, Halifax, Bank of Scotland faced thousands of reports of outages, according to Down Detector. So that means people can't log into their online and mobile banking apps. Reports that some people have had card payments declined, although the BBC can't verify this as yet. So that would be a very real impact, wouldn't it, for many people just trying to get personal banking, but also business banking.
Oh, look, I mean, there's been a drive, accelerated by COVID and what happened over the pandemic, for our lives to be managed online, for services that we depend on to be delivered online. And so, of course, when that doesn't work, I mean, it's a sort of platitude to say it, but it's really bad. And, I think there was a recent call, wasn't there, for companies to think about what happens, for example, if they're cyber attacked, and be ready to work with, pencil and paper if need be. Well, I mean, it doesn't just happen in the case of cyber attacks, and it doesn't just affect companies, it affects individuals as well. And again, this is the world we live in. It's why, some of these sort of internet services really are kind of critical infrastructure, if you like. If they don't work, it's kind of like, the electricity grid not working in a way. It's on that sort of scale. So it just underlines how important our online existence is to us.
Yes, absolutely, and resilience and perhaps protection from that when these sorts of issues arise, no matter what the cause. We will try and get more on that, of course, as we can. There is a webpage. Chris, we're going to let you go away and catch up on the news coming in. We'll probably come back to you. So thank you very much indeed. Chris Valence there, our technology reporter. This is the live page that you can see, and it is listing the reports of websites that are down, apps that are down, Snapchat, Duolingo, Roblox, plus, crucially, a number of banks. So if you are affected, that is the reason why. And do get in touch with us if you wish, because we've got that live page with a contact page if you do wish to tell us exactly how you've been affected by this.